Hockey against Boston. Kerry O'Reilly scored a long overtime, 30 minutes. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And you know that is the longest, second longest overtime in the last 15 years. Now, let's get to the game here. We have Potvin and Gainey.
Now the two captains talking to referee Lewis. And I'm sure he's telling both of them, look at guys, let's have a game like we did on Tuesday night. No nonsense, keep the sticks down, hard hitting, and I'll let you play.
So we will have the national anthem in a matter of, I'd say a few seconds. Maybe this is it.
Paul Trépanier, accompagné alors par Luc Pérus pour l'interprétation des hymnes nationaux. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please now rise and join in with Mr. Paul Trépanier along with Luc Pérus at the organ for our national anthems.
Another enthusiastic crowd here at the Montreal Forum as the teams get set for the start of the second game. There are the officials, Brian Lewis along with Gerard Gauthier and Sweet Knox. And we're going to get a look at the goalie in a moment or two, I think. Right now, we have Mario Delorier of Bromont, Quebec, 1984 World Cup Equestrian Champion. He is over there in the box with President Ron Corey, and also with his father, Mr. Laurent Baudouin. Billy Smith, 2.60. And Steve Steve Penny, 1.49. Is there anything more to say about Steve Penny?
He's done it all, Danny, and you have to remember, though, he's had an excellent effort in front of him. The team has played some kind of defense.
We were told that that was going to be Delorier's father when Mr. Baudouin, president of Bombardier. There's a shot by Potvin, knocked down. Walter clearing it on the right side to center. Potvin handing it off to Gilbert back in his own zone. Here's on, a good pass to Gilbert over the line. And he rattled that one off the leg of Green. Here's Potvin taking a shot. And deflected just wide. Sprawling. Now here's Persson getting some first shot. Big save. Another shot. And Penny absolutely phenomenal in the early seconds of the hockey game.
Right now, I think the Islander players are scratching their head. Al Arbor wondering what is going on here. We expected an Islander outburst, and we're getting it. Two excellent saves by goaltender Steve Penny as he's scrambling up, down, up with a pad, and finally smothers it for a face-off. Is that action?
And that has to be terribly disheartening for the Islanders. Here is the flurry, and it's a furious and serious attack by the Islanders. Tough shot. Now the Islanders, it's Flatley out there. Flatley is taking a look, putting on the brakes against Mondou. Right out in front of Kazakhin, shot. And Sutter, Brent, shot it wide. A blistering attack offensively for the Islanders. Icing called against Montreal. And the Canadiens were hanging on the roof.
Gary, 4 shots in 48 seconds. That's like the old days of the Flyers. You look back and say, come on, Bernie. Way to go, Bernie. Stop another one, Bernie.
Well, it's interesting, Dick, you mentioned that. Now, Billy Smith did that in the Rangers series and the Washington series. Now, from the other end, Smith can look at what Penny is doing to the Islanders, what he was doing to the Rangers and the Capitals. It kind of gets disheartening.
And now they line up for the face-off with the Islanders sending Morrow and Jonsson in over the line. The Canadiens getting the draw into the center ice area. Shutt left it for Smith, and he was bumped by Tonelli. Flatley is tied up. Tonelli took a rather gentle tap from Shutt, and Robinson is in there. And big Tonelli, 6'2", 197 out of Hamilton. He is back in uniform, and the Islanders missed the Tonellian dedication and hard work in that first game. But number 27 is buzzing on this shift. Now it's Sutter clearing it out for Tonelli. He couldn't get it, and Ludwig played it back. Morrow is bodied there by Walter. Bossy giving it to Jonsson. There's the shot. A big, juicy rebound. And a shot wide. After it, back at the line. Here's some back in along the board. Right out in front of Bossy. And he fanned on it. And it was poked to center by Robinson. It's been a withering attack so far by the Islanders. They have 5 shots on goal and good scoring opportunity.
So the Steve Penny story starts early tonight in Game 2.
Looking good, Slocum. Wish my sails were. Gotta keep in shape to pound the pavement these days.
Oh, not with 800 service. Now my customers can call me toll-free. No runaround, and you can pump up sales without pounding the pavement. It's all an 800 service. Today's way to operate. Just call toll-free 1-800-361-3050 for a free copy. 800 service. The shape of things to come.
800 service. Today's way to operate.
So there you see, 2 minutes and 13 seconds have gone by in the opening period. There's no score back to Potvin. He fakes a shot. Potvin going in. Loose puck in from the net. That wicked drive by Potvin didn't get to the goalie, but it came dangerously to the lip of the crease. Now is Chelios coming in, and he's belted there by Potvin. Gillies into the center ice area. Näslund going after Gillies. He and Chelios check Gillies. Potvin tossing his body around. There's a shot. And the first shot and a good scoring opportunity for Montreal. It was Näslund. Look at the little fellow go. A weight differential of about 75 pounds. And he went after Big Gillies. A very aggressive, a very brisk, a very interesting start to this hockey game. An interception there by Näslund. He couldn't shake off Potvin. And now, Goring handing it off. Persson to Potvin, forechecking. Hunter in there, along with Shutt and Smith. Islanders forced to get clear of it. Long, drifting, high shot by Chelios. There's Persson, bumped with some authority by Smith. Islanders on the right side. Duane Sutter going in, faking shot, takes the shot, and he hit the outside of the goal post. Smith shoots it through center down the ice. It goes after it is Boutilier, and it is icing against the Canadiens.
Gary, you were right and you were wrong at the start. First of all, new Islander looked right. But Tonelli with Trottier and Bossy, wrong. He started with Gilbert. It'll happen.
You can't rely on the coaches anymore,
That's right.
can you?
You better believe it. Here's the check that Chelios takes from Denis Potvin. Boy, we had more hitting right there in that stretch than there was in the entire game pretty well Tuesday night.
And there's Potvin. Tuesday's opening game was a delightful piece of hockey entertainment. The players stuck strictly to the execution of the game. There was none of that senseless fighting and brawling, which unfortunately all too often distract so substantially from a good and exciting playoff game. So let us hope that that pattern will continue. But there are rumblings that this is going to be a more physical game, and already we have indication. But Gary, there's nothing wrong with good body checks.
Not at all, and that's the way the game was meant to be played. There's a lot of line juggling going on right now, trying to get the proper matchups. Both teams doing a little line juggling.
Now here's Robinson. He missed it. And he got it back to Ludwig up on the left side. There's no score in the hockey game, and that puck goes bouncing over the boards.
Well, in this final series, or this conference final, of course, the coaches are quoted all over the place. Some very interesting quotes from Jacques Lemaire the last couple of days, principally to the effect that he doesn't particularly like coaching. He would much prefer teaching younger players than coaching in the pros. Now, I don't know just how far he's going to take his dislike when the season's over and contract talks come along. But boy, I tell you, it was plastered all over the newspapers here today.
So we have 15 minutes and 29 seconds left in this, the opening period. On the right side, Bourne overskated it. Näslund has given a rap in on the boards by Nystrom. Now Nyland bumped his man in, then he is taken gently in on the boards by Bourne. Here's Nystrom in over the line. It's cleared out, brought in on the offside.
Tonight's game is coming to you.
The Canadiens no score here at the Forum in Montreal. Tonelli is a bit fractious along with Hunter. Let's see. And Gauthier solicitously went in there and said, okay, it's very early. It's only the first period. Take it easy.
I think Mark Hunter, he's not happy unless he's in a crowd, as we saw in the Quebec series.
Well, this line here of Sutter, Flatley, and Tonelli were very instrumental in the 4th and 5th games in the Islander-Ranger series and providing the victory for the Islanders.
Now it is Potvin. Gets it to Dineen. Dineen did not play in the first game on Tuesday night. He's out there, number 2, a very promising looking young hockey player. Now here's Brent Sutter in on the boards, and the Canadiens cleared on the left side. Down the ice it goes, and it would appear that Montreal for the 3rd time in this period, and we've played just about 5 minutes and 13 seconds. 3rd time they've been called for icing.
Well, there's the always aggressive John Tonelli. What do they try to prove, Gary, in a situation where you had Tonelli and Hunter here a minute ago before the pucks even dropped? Here it is.
Well, everybody knows the way Tonelli plays. You know, he's a rough, tough player along the boards. And if you're looking for a matchup against Tonelli, you have to get a player that is going to play exactly the same way. So put him against Hunter. You know, that would be what Jacques Lemaire is trying to do. Look, let's have somebody that can match Tonelli hit for hit, grind it out in the corner so that Tonelli just doesn't get carried away and uplifts his hockey club.
So the Islanders, who have had by far the better scoring opportunities in this period, have sort of settled down the ice it goes. There's no icing, and Captain Potvin hands it off to Trottier. He passed it one way. Bossy was going the other. It's going to be icing against the New York Islanders. I noticed that a lot of people said they were shocked when the Canadiens won that game 3-0 on Tuesday night. Now, I don't think that it should be categorized as a shock. Had they defeated the regular season Montreal Canadiens 3-0, it would be a catastrophe along with a shock. But the Canadiens have been playing well against Boston and Quebec. You don't buy that, do you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, I've had a chance to watch the first two periods in just about every series, you know, being out west, and it was very impressive, you know. And again, Danny, here you go with the line shakeups again by Al Arbor. He's got Tonelli with Bossy and Trottier, and then he took him off and put Bourne on the left side. So that line juggling continues to take place.
And there's Robinson dropping it for Ludwig, coming out with Tremblay, Carbonneau, and Gainey. Now it's into the corner, dashing in there is Gainey. He put it in front, and the Islanders are going to clear it to Trottier over on the right side. It's gobbled up by Bossy, and he ripped that one off the leg of Ludwig. Into the corner, Carbonneau is knocked to the ice. Robinson takes a look on the left side for Gainey. No score first period. Gainey is tied up. Trottier and Bossy, they look much more prominent so far in the early stages of this game tonight than they did on Tuesday. And the Islanders have to have Trottier and Bossy going. There's Gainey, and it's called on the offside.
So a scoreless first period. They have played 6 minutes and 24 seconds.
15:36. We have Walter on with Turnbull and Lafleur, Flatley, Brent Sutter, and Gilbert. Now Flatley is going to face off against Walter. And at center, Chelios clearing it in. And there is Morrow striding in there. He's being watched by Walter to the other side to Gilbert. Lafleur going in, he couldn't get it. Now let's see who gets it on this side. A solid body check. Turnbull handing it out against Flatley. On the boards, Sutter. Now Lafleur looking for a loose puck, left it there for Green. He snapped a shot 3 or 4 feet wide. Here's Chelios trying to center it. In behind the net, Jonsson. Flatley will pick it up and get it back into the center ice area to Gilbert. He lost it, and the Canadiens put Lafleur on the right side. A pass at the line. And Morrow tipped it away. There is Morrow. Jonsson back to Morrow. At center, Morrow strides up to that left side. Morrow has deceptive speed. He doesn't look to be going very fast, but he has great strides. Remember, there was another fellow who didn't look like he was going very fast. He had great strides. That was Gordie Howe. Now along the boards. The Islanders trying to come up with it. Sutter around the net. He's down. There's the puck, and the Canadiens almost got out. Yes, they get out. Turnbull going down 3-on-1. Turnbull shot a rebound. They score! Mondou!
You know, Gary, the other night the Islanders got caught on a 2-on-1 for the Canadiens' second goal. Here they get caught on a 3-on-1.
3-on-1, and you know, I question where Turnbull shot that puck from. You know, they juggled a little bit. Now watch, just way up the top of the circle, but the rebound was there, and Jonsson unable to handle Mondou coming in. Everybody is attracted by the shot and by the play being made. You forget to turn around and look at the trailer.
Canadiens leading 1-0. We'll have the announcement on the goal in a matter of seconds. Now the Islanders, led by Captain Potvin. He plays it up on the left side. Ludwig to Mondou, giving it to Näslund. And the Canadiens continue to get that first goal in these big games. Here's Näslund going in around the net. The angle was sharp. The Islanders with Gillies and Goring. They hit the line, and the Canadiens breaking it up. There's Potvin over on this side. Dineen, he missed his man, Tonelli. Tonelli waved off Hunter. Hunter tried to get a piece of him. Now Boutilier at the line. Shutt clearing it back to center. Boutilier handing it off to Trottier. Here's Bossy in on his wrong wing. Bossy getting it back. Boutilier to Bossy. Hopped over his stick. Hamel clearing it to the line. Will it come out? No, the Islanders keep it in there. Bossy upended. And Hunter has it for Montreal. Starts away on the right wing. Shutt is on the left side. Smith has it. Smith trying to get it in front. He does. And Smith cleared it to the right side. That is goaltender Smith. After Smith, the forward, dumped it in there. Over on the right side. Bossy hitting the line. And he drilled a shot. Now in front again it comes. And it's Gainey. Fading to the far side with Trombley. They knocked it across the line. We're nearing the 10th minute mark into the opening period. Canadiens are leading 1-0. And a goal by Mondou from Turnbull at 7:46. Here's Tonelli digging in there. He's bodied by Green. Let's see who's going to come up with the puck. Both quarters. Whistle stops the play.
Mario Trombley came in after the fact. So that's what set off this little confrontation.
Scored by number 6, Pierre Mondou. Avec l'aide du numéro 27.
So with the score, the Montreal Canadiens won, the New York Islanders nothing. We'll return in just a moment.
Et du numéro 24 and number 24, Chris
Penalties called. Tonelli and Trombley. First penalties handed out. Started along the boards. Rick Green threw the first check at
to the Islanders, number 27.
Tonelli on the play.
Tonelli. Oh, to the Canadiens, number 14, Mario Trombley. 2 minutes each for roughing at 9 minutes, 56 seconds.
9 minutes and 56 seconds into the opening period. Tonelli and Trombley are in the penalty box. Montreal leading 1-0 on the Mondou goal. Potvin up on the left side to Bourne. Bourne clearing it to the corner. Here's Kallur, number 28, going in, but Ludwig hands it off. And Chelios takes a look. This young man has been playing with a lot of confidence. There he is down on the line. Goes down, holds onto it. Chelios couldn't get in there. Across the lip of the crease. And it's over the glass. Bob Cole, wherever you are, I hope you're enjoying your respite, appreciation, and congratulations for your splendid work on the Quebec series. And we'll be seeing Bob pretty soon.
Chris Chelios set up, or helped set up the goal. He fed the lead pass to Turnbull. Gary, 11 playoff games now for Montreal. They've scored the first goal in the game 10 times. Helps.
Absolutely, and you know, the confidence that everybody gets on the bench when you have the lead, and ask anybody, it's a lot easier playing when you're ahead than you are behind. You know, after thinking about that goal again and seeing it the second time, Turnbull made a pretty good play by shooting it when he did. I thought he was just a stride over the blue line, but by the time he released it, he was at the top of the faceoff circle.
And he has a pretty good shot. He gets a lot on it, and he's a big, imposing individual. And, of course, you have the two Canadiens eager to pick up a rebound. Now the Islanders. Boutilier winds up for the shot. Covering up is Penny.
You know, a lot of talk after game one about Bryan Trottier and his lack of success in the face-off circle against Guy Carbonneau. He was totally dominated by Carbonneau in the first game. Here he gets a chance right here at close range. And from the standpoint of Bob Gainey's job and Mike Bossy, who scored 6 goals in 3 games in the regular season against Montreal, had only 1 shot the other night.
I think Gal Arbor is the sly cat. He had a little clip in the paper about Carbonneau eating up Bryan Trottier. And you know that Trottier read that, and he will respond. He has tonight. He's been very effective for the Islanders.
Now Robinson to Ludwig. And it is Carbonneau on the right side, and he hit Gainey. Gainey in on the line, backhand shot. Gainey sliding in heavily in the corner area. Knocked down by Persson, who gives it to Trottier, broken up by Ludwig. Persson to Bossy. Bossy takes his time. Could be offside here. There is the offside whistle.
Well, there is Guy Carbonneau, the Canadiens Molson Cup winner this year here in Montreal for the 3-star selections. And we have to say that was a pretty deserving victory, Gary, because over the course of the year, he was, on balance, through 80 games, the team's most consistent forward.
And what impresses me about the way he's playing the playoffs, Dick, you know, a lot of guys shy away from blocking shots, but not this young man. He'll put his face in front of it if he has to stop the puck. But he covers Trottier a lot different than the actual shadow. You know, he doesn't skate with him in any of the zones, but when the play is in the Montreal end of the rink, then he'll pay special attention. Where's Trottier, and pick him up.
And we have another center out there about whom we'd like to speak in a moment or two. That is Goring. You know, in 1960, when he was 11 years of age, he was playing minor hockey in St. Boniface. He had a helmet. He's still wearing it. It's not very sophisticated. There's a puck in front. Jonsson working from the right side. Here's Jonsson going in. They tip it, and they score! Gillies! They tipped it and went high. Finally, the light went on, and the Islanders have tied it.
First Islander goal of the series. Don Cherry, wherever you are, you always talk about Gillies, wanting that should be parked in front of the goal. Gary, that's where he was.
Well, he did an excellent job of it, Dick, and the Canadiens tried to get him out of there, but were unable to do that. Once Gillies gets that position, he'll stay there. Watch now. No way you're going to move that guy. Budged him, and then look at the 3-time. Everybody, again, Dick, is looking at the puck carrier. Nobody looked around. Perhaps there's somebody in a dangerous position, which happened to be Gillies.
Fifth playoff goal of the year for Gillies, who scored only 12 in the regular season.
Shifted by number 3, Tomas Jonsson, age numéro 91, and number 91, Butch Goring. À 11 minutes 58 secondes, at 11 minutes 58 seconds.
Now let's have another look at it, where Gillies gets the position, then the Canadian defenders skate away with it. You notice that 4 men were watching the puck carrier. They left Gillies alone, and he just redirected it past 10.
Hamel blasts a shot away wide of the net. The score is tied at a goal. Potvin into Trottier. Now loose puck picked up by Potvin. Potvin swings it in front. It goes to the far left wing. And there's a pass intended for a Hunter. Jonsson is beating him to it and chops it off the glass. It's kept in by Shutt. Into the corner, Potvin. And he clears it. It goes over the glass.
So we have a 1-1 tie, 7:25 left, first period.
Greens and Ludwig, however, the Islanders get the draw, and they're working on the right side. Flatley knocking it over for Bourne. And it's Walter inadvertently played it back into the corner. He wanted to get a soft pass back near the line. Now Lafleur couldn't get anywhere. Lafleur gets another shot at it, just gets rid of it on in. And we've had a fair number of icings, most of which have been against the Canadiens in this first period. Islanders and the Canadiens tied at 1, but the Islanders, I think, Francis, they've had the better of the play, don't you think, Gary?
Well, of the 7 shots they've had 5 excellent scoring chances.
Guy Lafleur has now gone 22 straight games without a goal. It is rather incredible. He had a tremendous second period here the other night. Those of us who watched Guy through all of his trials and tribulations in that slump thought that it was the best stretch of hockey he's played in a long time. Now
last day, or in Tuesday night's game, Carbonneau dominated Trottier in the faceoffs, and Dick, for the last couple of years, Trottier's always been used as a faceoff man in his own end. Well, Al Arbor hasn't put him out there, and the reason why has been Carbonneau, because Carbonneau's been beating him to the draw.
Well, here they are again. Set. See who wins this one.
And it is Potvin and Persson on the points for the Islanders. Penny securely tucked it for Hamel. It goes to the other side. Potvin swinging it into the crease area. And Gilbert was there. Potvin was thinking, perhaps I'll bank one in off Gilbert's skate.
Well, the Canadiens won the draw, Carbonneau, but the Islanders ended up controlling the puck. Gary, here it is.
Well, it's always interesting. You know, the skill involved in face-off, it's not always brute strength. Sometimes the way you hold your stick, timing it perfectly where you can use that quickness, and Carbonneau's just having an excellent time of it.
Now Carbonneau is coming down on the left side to Gainey. Gainey going in. He hit the goal post. Gainey hit the goal post. And that was an immaculate play all the way. Robinson head-manning it through center to Carbonneau. And a beautiful pass on the left side to Gainey. The only bad point about the entire thing as far as the Canadiens were concerned, Gainey hit the goal post. Score is tied at a goal, and they get a face-off at the Islanders' blue line.
Well, Bob Gainey doesn't score very often, but he had a great chance right there, as Danny said, Gary, all the way up the ice. I remember Larry Robinson used to throw those passes up to Jacques Lemaire. This time it went to Carbonneau, left side, then goal post.
But you know what impressed me on the play? Gainey had his head up. He was aiming for that corner and tried to tuck it just inside the post, and it wrapped off the goal post. This line has been playing against all the top lines in every series, and they still haven't had a goal scored against them in even strength. Now that is remarkable. Not only are they stopping the opposition, but they're getting their share of goals also.
And the long floating shot by Chelios was wide. Up on the right side, Duane Sutter can't get it out. He has to contend now with Mondou. And Jonsson with Goring turning on one side. Now Goring is getting set, but the pass goes to Duane Sutter. Sutter is in over the line, and the Islanders are called in the offside.
So it's a 1-1 tie here at the Montreal Forum. First period, game 2 of the series.
5:44 of the time left, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner of your television set. And now Goring is waved out of there. And it's going to be Gillies who has scored the goal for the Islanders, facing off against Hunter. Now Duane Sutter over the other side to Gillies, and it hopped over his stick. Chelios, the left wing pass, too hard on that pass, and it went off the stick of Shutt. Shutt body gently in there. Here's Smith around the net. Staying with him was Duane Sutter. Now Hunter went after Gillies to the other side. Gillies trying to get it out over the line. Hunter has it, takes the shot, but the angle was very severe. Here come the Islanders, Duane Sutter. Goring had to put on the brakes, and of course, when you put on the brakes, that is not a good pass. Sutter didn't lead Goring. But now, here's Trottier on the left side. The pass broken up at the line by McPhee. McPhee trying to shake off Kallur. Gets it to Walter. And Walter dumped it delicately into the corner, and that's always the signal for players to change while the play goes on. That's what the Canadiens have done. They have Gainey on there now with Trombley and Carbonneau. They have done an outstanding checking job, and at times they have been a threat offensively. Now they're coming on a rush, in over the line. Hard shot by Trombley over the glass off Persson's stick.
Well, Captain Denis Potvin and the Islanders right there running into a pretty good job of forechecking, Gary, by the Canadiens, who were right on top of the New York team.
Well, I think that adds or answers the question that good forechecking will cause turnovers no matter how good the team is. And talking to the Islander coaching staff today, they're maybe a little bit disappointed on the play of some of the Islanders that just haven't played up to their capabilities. And Potvin's name is on near the top of that list, but with his ability, he can turn that around immediately.
There's Flatley dashing in, and he was taken out of the play by Hamel. Morrow had that ricochet. It wasn't a hard shot. It changed direction. It went right to Penny, and there they see the players move around. Green, he's been a tremendous contributor to the Canadiens' cause.
Danny, he can't complain about being tired after the long season. He played only 7 games all year. First a broken wrist, and then he came back, played 4, and broke a rib. Came back and played the last 3. It was like training camp for him.
But he still got paid, though, didn't he?
I guess so. You ought to know about contracts more than I do.
Look who's here waiting to go on American television. Punch him like Hall of Famer.
That's right.
And Punch, you should have been there long ago. And Punch has great memories of this Montreal Forum. I remember one night he started 5 defensemen. And on the very first shift, Horton scored. But it backfired after that, didn't it, Dick?
Should have changed right there. Kept them on, it was 1-1 10 seconds later.
So they line up for the face-off back to the right of Penny. And number 22, Steve Shutt. He has come through with some of the old Shuttsian stuff in the playoffs, hasn't he?
The rejuvenation of some of the older fellows.
Yes.
Robinson.
Isn't it
Shutt.
wonderful? What's the incentive? A new contract?
He keeps
Be careful,
scoring
be
goals
careful.
like that. He may be good trade bait for next year.
Uh-huh. Well, certainly the stature of the Canadiens and their entire team has grown enormously since the end of the schedule and the beginning of the playoffs. They have been the talk of the hockey world. They're leading in this series. 1 game, having won the first one. Now Hunter coming down along with Shutt. Hunter trying to get it over to Shutt. And he didn't play it very delicately, did he? He hit the Morrow stick.
On a 2-on-1, you have to get that shot away. Get a good shot on that.
Now Boutilier ahead to Flatley, and that's called on the offside. So the score with 3:22 left in the first period, tied at 1. There we have Carbonneau out there along with Trombley and Gainey, Bossy, Trottier, and Gilbert for the Islanders. Jonsson getting it. Potvin rink wide pass to Bossy, who gets by 1 check and then was bodied by Trombley. But Bossy showed that he's a very sturdy individual. He may have been stopped in his progress, but he's kept on his feet. Now, Smith, the goalie, handing it off to Potvin. Trottier is turning on the left side. Now Bossy is coming through center. Fades over on the wing and takes the pass. Bossy at the line. In it goes Gilbert, shooting it. And Penny stopped it. And again, the Canadiens cleared the rebound. Penalty coming up. Carbonneau was the man who went to the ice. And Gilbert skated around to the line. It's going to be called, I think, interference.
Well, Carbonneau is definitely, he was arguing about the play. I don't know if he's going to get the penalty. No, it's going to be Rick Green that'll get the penalty, Dan. Carbonneau is arguing with referee Brian Lewis on the play.
There seemed to be a question of mistaken identity for a moment or two. Carbonneau went down, but there could have been an interference charge against Green before that. We'll have a look at it.
Well, that is what the call is going to be. Right now, referee Brian Lewis is talking to Captain Bob Gainey, and they seem to have gotten everything straightened out.
Numéro 5, Rick Green, 2 minutes pour obstruction à 17 minutes 24 secondes.
All right, let's see if we can pick it up behind the net. As Rick Green really did interfere with Mike Bossy and draws the penalty. So the first power play of the game belongs to the Islanders, and they have struggled in the power play. They are dead last of the 4 teams that are involved, scoring only 4 power play goals, Danny.
It certainly is not one of the more productive facets of the Islanders' play, but let's face it, they have the potential. They have the players. They could break loose any time. Let's see how the Canadiens will defend against them here. We have Brent Sutter on there with Flatley and Tonelli. Jonsson at one point. Potvin at the other. They fight furiously for it. And the Canadiens clearing it out to center. Gainey went after the Carbonneau pass. Carbonneau is in on the line. and he shot it into the corner. So we have Carbonneau and Gainey up front for Montreal, Robinson and Ludwig on defense, and they are in the center ice area. A wave of 5 Islanders. They storm in there after shooting it in. Robinson can't clear it out. It's up. Now Callur in front, and the Canadiens go after it in the corner area. Into the corner. Brent Sutter. Sutter taking a look. Back it goes to Jonsson. Over the other side. Let's see what's going to happen here. We had a mix-up. Flatley was in the crease area in front of Penny, and we're going to have a penalty. I don't know if it's going to go to Flatley or not.
Flatley's going to get the gate, Danny. He was crowding Penny in the crease. In fact, backed right into him. It was well inside it. And referee Lewis didn't hesitate at all and called Flatley on the play. So Pat Flatley, who is tied in the scoring lead with Mike Bossy with 8 points, draws a penalty. Here's a good look at it as the Islanders trying to set up the power play. Now you see just at the bottom of your screen where Flatley will go in the crease, and he's called on the interference.
Islanders penalty.
This will give you a little better look at it. Moves right in.
For interference.
He's not pushed in the crease by Robinson.
A minute and 52 seconds left. In this, the opening period, it has not been played with dispatch. It's dragged a bit. There's been a lot of stoppages. Not as crisply played as the first period, I don't think, of Tuesday.
No, I agree with you, Danny. And, you know, a lot of plays are broken up between the 2 blue lines, and really that's where you disrupt the forward lines in both hockey clubs.
Now, offside against the Islanders. We have Green with a minute and 3 seconds left in his penalty, and Flatley with 1:47. And Flatley will carry over 8 seconds into the second period. You know, there's some people say that this is the purest scorer in the history of hockey, and I think when they talk about the purity of his scoring, they think of his attributes, his tremendous release, quick, accurate shot, and he seems to sense an opening to go.
You're right, Danny, but he's going to earn his pay in this series, having to play against the likes of Bob Gainey. And, you know, when you're a superstar like Bossy, you have to expect the close checking. Well, number 23 of Montreal, Bob Gainey, will certainly give him that. That'll be a real challenge for both players. That's the interesting thing about professional sports. Gainey has to be the stopper. Bossy has to try to get the goals against that stopper.
Well, so far we have 2 goals in the first period, each team with 1. And each team with a player in the penalty box. Here is Boutilier. Over to Persson. Back to Boutilier. He can't reach it. Chelios to Carbonneau. They're playing rather carefully with this alignment on the ice. Neither team, of course, like to give up a goal with just over a minute to go. There's Persson at his own line. Now we have 1 minute left in the period. Now Boutilier to Trottier to Persson up on the right side. Trottier couldn't negotiate contact. Robinson speeds in there, and it's called for icing against the New York Islanders. And Green will be back after 11 seconds, so that will give the Canadiens a power play time of 36 seconds. With the proviso, of course, there are no further penalties. And nobody takes a penalty with less than a half minute to go.
Well, they shouldn't unless it's to save a goal. The shots are 9-4 in favor of the New York Islanders. And of those 9 shots, we have the Islanders with 5 good scoring chances, the Montreal Canadiens with 2. So they've capitalized 1 goal and only 2 good scoring chances.
And most of the Islanders' gilt-edged scoring opportunities came in the first 2.5 minutes. Now to Smith facing off against Trottier. Ludwig is just down here in your left corner behind Smith. You can't see him. They'll try and draw it back to him. Let's see if they can get it back. It's knocked unfairly. And they'll execute that operation again as we look at Potvin.
You know, Potvin has had a strong first period, and he's also logged a lot of ice time. Notice how the Canadiens were looking to draw that puck back to Ludwig. That's where Smith is going.
But the Islanders get the draw. Morrow handing it off to Potvin through center ice. It goes to Bourne. He has enormous speed. Passes over to Trottier. His pass off a Canadian player. Now Montreal with the advantage with a half-minute remaining in the opening period. They go on the power play led by Ludwig, who lugs it in on the right side. Into the corner they go. Walter trying to come up with it to get it back to the point. And the Islanders, with Kallur sitting on the puck, they get a face-off in their own zone. 18 seconds left.
Well, when called upon, Kallur has certainly done a job for the Islanders. The Ranger series came off when a few injuries forced Al Arbor to make a change and responded. Then the Islanders are a hard team to figure out. They're dead last in power plays, working at a 9.8% clip. In penalty killing, they're last again of the teams remaining, 76.9, but they just keep winning series after series.
Canadiens with Robinson getting set, fired at, and it was low and wide. Chelios over to Robinson, hands it off to Näslund. Good play there by Potvin. Islanders can't clear it out. Smith is going to corral it with 2 seconds remaining. Potvin is putting in a lot of time out there in this first period, and he's been playing rather brilliantly.
The best we've seen him play in a long time, and it's quite a relief for the New York Islanders because they were waiting for the big guy to get unrolling. You're looking at Turnbull, who had positioned himself in front of the net, trying to screen Billy Smith, but the shot by Robinson was just wide. Why not pull your goalie here? I don't think you can get the face-off and shoot at the length of the ice in 2 seconds.
I think it has been scientifically tried and tested, and it's physically impossible from the point of view of consumption of time to get it down the ice in 2 seconds. Now Canadiens get it to Chelios, and that's the end of the period. Canadiens again opening the scoring at 7:46. Mondou from Turnbull and Chelios, and then Gillies from Jonsson and Goring. The score at the end of the first period: New York 1, Montreal 1. And the best scoring opportunities, I would think, as I took my time to move over here close to Mr. Dornhofer, the best scoring opportunities, I think, were wrapped up in about that 2.5 minutes of furious activity by the Islanders.
Well, you put your finger right on the nail when you said, Danny, that's the best I've seen the Islanders go. And we all expected that. They're a proud team, and you have to go to the offensive, make things happen, and did they ever? And the Canadiens weathered the storm. You know, they got out of it not having any goals scored against them, and in fact took the lead. But you heard Pat Fontaine talk about how big a goal that was by Clark Gillies. I mean, I don't think the Islanders could afford to go down by 2. It would have been very difficult to come back from a 2-goal deficit.
And now let us see what will happen here in the second period. The Canadiens on the power play, but it will be for very brief duration. Now Flatley is out of the penalty box, and the Islanders can't clear it out. It's off Lafleur's stick. On the left side, Trottier pumped it into the corner. Gilbert being tied up, and he was knocked to the ice by Hamel, who also went down. Lafleur giving it to Green on the right side to Walter. And Walter actually was guilty of a giveaway there. He just passed it, and Trottier was there to accept it with acknowledgement. Trottier is shot right on, and he squeezes that puck. That's a very dangerous thing. It's a very delicate maneuver by the goalie.
Yes, it certainly is. And on that play, Danny, once the Canadiens realized that the wrong matchups were out in the ice, they made a quick change and had the proper players come on. There you see another shot of it by Trottier into the pad of Penny. Did you notice that Gilbert on that shot was heading right for the net with a possibility of there being a rebound? And that's something that coaches stress all the time. Second man, go for the net, always anticipate a rebound.
So the face-off to the right of Penny. He has been the colossus for the Canadiens. He has been so huge for the Montreal team in the playoffs. Granted, they have had great performances from Robinson and Carbonneau. As a matter of fact, from the entire team, executing their plays with proficiency as a unit. But above all, the Colossus, Penny. And there's nothing new on that, Gary. You've got to have the goaltender. Now Hunter tipped that one, and it's back into the Islanders' zone. I think we need a goal here to open it up again. For the last 10 minutes or so of the first period, it was very tight. And that pattern is being followed here. Down the ice it goes. Boutilier is after it, and it's icing against the Canadiens.
Well, you notice that both teams, they don't fool around with a puck in their own end. You know, overhandling it by the defenseman. As soon as it's on their stick, if there's nobody to pass it to, immediately dump it to the neutral zone. Talk about a bright future. Well, this Boutilier should see the thighs on this kid. They're like tree stumps. And I guess a lot of it has to do with his father getting involved in a training program, running up and down the hills in Nova Scotia. And you have to have those big, strong legs to be able to skate in this league.
I think he was running as many as 15 miles a day. When I lived in that part of the country, if I got over 15 miles a year.
I ride that many on my golf cart.
A fine young talent, Boutilier. Now Ludwig takes a look. A pass over on the far side to Gainey on the right wing, gobbled up. Tremblay took the shot and it went off Potvin and stick. Now the Islanders breaking out over the line into the center ice area. Gilbert a pass to Bossy. Over for Trottier, and Robinson cleared it out over the line. Carbonneau, pass intercepted. They're passing it back and forth. A solid body check on Gilbert by Robinson. Now it is Gainey. Gainey over this side to Robinson going after it. Robinson still has it. He's forced back in there. Canadiens trying to keep it in, and Potvin takes over and swings the pass into the center ice area. Robinson back there to get it. The Canadiens and the Islanders are making changes while the play goes on, and Gainey scoots up on that left side. And he doesn't get very far, the captain of the Canadiens. And the Islanders clear it out. There's Green changed into the boards by Goring. Here's Gillies winding up for the shot. And Chelios deflected it. "17 minutes and 48 seconds, the time left. Second period. So far, this game has not been the fire wagon, the pulsating, end-to-end action type of hockey. It's tied at 1. Boutilier clearing it in. Chelios gets it up on the left side to McPhee. McPhee, a right wing pass to Lafleur. Lafleur is in over the line. He sent a pass in there. Walter couldn't pick it up. Down the ice it goes. Penny out of the net. Let's see what's going to happen here. Somebody has been injured. It's Persson.
Oh, that was a vicious check by Ryan Walter. He just leveled Persson right into the boards. When you see hits like that, you're glad you're up here where it's very safe. Look at this for contact.
And you saw an example of it right there. Could it be the shoulder, arm? It's always tough to try to guess in a situation like this. But you just hope it's not anything of a serious nature.
And you know, Dick, if they lose him, it'll be a serious loss.
Oh,
granted, their power play hasn't been working, but he's one of the fellows who'll have to get it going because he moves the puck well, and he has that low shot, and you get a rebound on those shots from the point.
You know, you look at the stat there. He was drafted 214th overall. It shows you just never know. Here he is when the team wins 4 straight Stanley Cups. I suppose he hardly missed a shift other than because of injury. And he has been injured here early in the second period in this game.
And the game is tied at a goal. Potvin over on the other side to Jonsson. Jonsson coming down, being watched by Lafleur. There's a pass to Walter. Walter takes the shot. It was a screen shot. You can notice Billy Smith went way down there. Had his eyes almost down. A foot or so off the ice so he could pick it up, and he did. Now Chelios over on the far side to Green. Green playing it up on the left wing. Jonsson, it goes hopping over the glass.
Well, this was a day off for Montreal's other currently performing sports team, the Expos, and they are well represented here tonight. Team president John McHale, Bill Stoneman of double no-hit fame, now a member of the Expos front office, and field manager Bill Verdon in attendance tonight. John McHale has been quite a hockey fan for many years. He was in Detroit, became a close friend of Jack Adams, and a great follower of the Red Wings when he was down there. They open a series with the Cardinals tomorrow afternoon.
Face-off outside the Islanders' line. Now Hamel giving it to Ludwig. A pass through center in on the right side. Here's Hunter struggling to get in there, and he was handled effectively by Boutilier. Here it is, coming right in front, the shot back to Hunter, right in front. A shot, and a big save by Smith. That was the best scoring opportunity of the period. We're going to have maybe penalties here to Shutt and to Flatley down the ice, and certainly Shutt is going off. Will Flatley go also?
I think there's just going to be one penalty, and that's the Steve Shutt.
Tonight's game is coming to you from the
Shutt. 2 minutes for high sticking at 3 minutes, 37 seconds.
Steve Shutt gave it the "why only me" reaction when the penalty was called, but it is Shutt who is the lone occupant of the penalty box. Under a minute just before that, Gary.
Well, they had a good give and go there with Hunter and Shutt. Billy Smith able to cover up.
And now the Islanders on the power play. They have Potvin, Jonsson, Gilbert, Trottier, and Bossy. They try to clear it in, and it's blocked. Here's Carbonneau coming down with Gainey. Carbonneau taken up the play by Jonsson. Trottier had it go off his stick. Now here's Carbonneau on the right side, and he's pinned in on the boards by Potvin. And then he got a glove into the facial area of Potvin. There's Carbonneau again. Canadians handling themselves well in the first 35 seconds in this penalty killing. Now the Islanders on the left side. Robinson couldn't clear it out. Ludwig into the corner. Ludwig has it coming out on the line. Gives it to Carbonneau, tipped it down the ice. So the Islanders have done nothing so far on the power play, Gary.
They just can't generate any kind of an attack. They're having trouble getting the puck over the Montreal blue line.
Now they get it in over the line. Here's Tonelli dropping it back. Bossy playing it in there. It goes to Sutter. He passed it back, and it goes down the ice. After it is caught back, we have 42 seconds left in the penalty to Shutt, and the Islanders are standing at the line. Mondou lost it finally, but he did his job in breaking up that offensive thrust by the Islanders. Now, twisting and turning, Potvin in on the line, and a shot down the ice by Mondou. And we are down now to 15 seconds left in the penalty, and the Islanders will have to hustle to get a rush organized with some productivity. They shoot it in there, but they're not going to get many shots here, I don't think. Let's see. We have 1 second now. Robinson has it, and the penalty has expired. Robinson shot it down the ice. Islanders are after it, and that's icing against the Canadiens.
Well, Robinson, had he spotted Shutt just leading the box, might have been able to send him in on a breakaway. Canadians getting a big ovation from the fans. For this game, he has what has been initially termed a mild shoulder separation. Dave Langevin, another regular defenseman, hasn't been able to play in this series because of a shoulder injury suffered during the Washington series. So the Islanders, right at this particular moment, are hurting on defense. 2 regulars out.
And there are 14 minutes and 14 seconds left. Now Boutilier has shot. He was nowhere near the net. Duane Sutter was bumped solidly by Hamel. Shutt can't get out. Finally, he passes it over on an open wing, and Boutilier ripped it back in there for the Islanders. Green took a look at Sutter, who came in to pump him, but Duane Sutter. Now at the line. Over the line. Here's Smith off the shot. It's goal!
Shutt always seems to be involved in big goals since he's got back in the lineup. But let's watch as they break. Close play at the blue line, not going offside. Now Shutt is going for the net. Let's see if he gets a piece of it, and if it hits back on his skate or his thigh pad and goes in the net. How about that for one bank over the goal line?
Be in the right place at the right time. One of the big surprises of the surprising Canadiens, they return to scoring form, and Steve Shutt in the playoffs.
Dick, what makes this play possible is not only the give and go, but Shutt, after he passes off to the wing, heads right for the net. Now, had he stopped there, play is over. You're looking for the deflection, and you get it.
So the Canadiens lead it 2-1. Here's the announcement.
Canadiens goal scored by number 22, Steve Shutt. Avec l'aide du numéro 15, assisted by number 15, Bobby Smith. Aide du numéro 5 and number 5, Rick Green. À 6 minutes 18 secondes, at 6 minutes 18 seconds.
6 minutes and 18 seconds into the second period. Shutt from Smith and Green as Goring looks on. Not too happy, of course, and that's a natural reaction as a result of a goal of that nature. And the Islanders, who trail in the series by a game, are behind 2-1, and they go to the attack. Nystrom, he has not done too much in the series so far, but he's a very rugged individual. He's out there. Kallur is on the left side, along with Bourne. Now there's Nystrom in the corner, took the body belt from Chelios. Walter against Kallur, and Lafleur has it. Lafleur just got it to the line. Potvin drilled it back in there. The Islanders are on the move with the Canadiens in possession with Chelios at center. Lafleur took Walter's pass. Lafleur knocked down by Potvin. Now there's a mix-up between Dineen and number 35, McPhee. McPhee now goes after Nystrom. Hamel in the corner gives it to Tremblay. He can't knock it out. And you can sense that the tempo of the game is picking up. Dineen went after McPhee. And Dineen is going up.
Well, McPhee mocking the Islander rookie. He's a rookie too, of course. But he drew Dineen into that one, Gary, as the kid on the Islander defense lost his cool for just a minute. They had quite a confrontation just leading up to when the penalty was
39 seconds.
7 minutes and 39 seconds into the second period. Dineen of the Islanders offered charging. Canadiens on the power play. Now here's Robinson intercepting going in. And Billy Smith comes out. And he challenged Robinson. And Smith coming up with a big save.
Well, once Larry Robinson had wound up for that big slap shot, he was committed, but just to the side of the net was Smith all by himself. Had that pass slid over, Canadiens would have a power play goal because Billy Smith was way out of position. Let's watch the giveaway by Potvin trying to go up the middle. There's Robinson. Look to the left of your screen, just cruising in was Smith. Robinson didn't see him.
A minute and 39 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Lafleur. Giving it to Näslund a shot. And it went to the short side. Here's Lafleur. Lafleur into Näslund. Näslund twisting and turning. Playing it in for Smith. Here's Smith. Smith still with it. Smith takes a look back to Lafleur. He fakes the shot. Gives it to Smith. Smith on the board. Good box there by the Islanders. Robinson over to Smith. Back to Lafleur to Robinson. He shot it in there. And how did that out. It was not by design. It was behind him, and I think it hit his leg.
Quite a job by Chris Nyland, Gary. You are very familiar with the role that he was playing at that moment, as you see, directly in front of the net. Nyland and Potvin really hammering one another.
Well, that gives you a good view of it. Dick, all the slugs and the sticks that you get, it's all worth it when the puck goes across that goal line. But Robinson fired, it looked like a knuckleball. You could see the label on it from out here, but Smith somehow got a piece of it and held on.
When this game started, the Islanders had 4 shots in the first 48 seconds of the first period. Through the first 8:35 here in the second period, they've had just 1 shot. Canadians in this period have had 8. 8-1 the shots to this point.
And the time remaining in the penalty to Dineen, 1 minute and 4 seconds. Mondou, Walters, Shutt, Robinson, and Chelios, the alignment on the power play for Montreal. Out there is Brent Sutter, Jonsson, Trottier. Here's Robinson trying to keep it in. He does. Robinson takes a look. Over it goes to Chelios. In for a shot. Back to Chelios. Chelios shooting it in there. And a tremendous glove grab by a very alert Billy Smith. In rapier-like fashion, out came that hand, and he got it. We might get a chance to see it.
This is normally when Billy Smith plays at his best, when he has to keep his team in there until they can regroup. Look at the quickness, how he just reaches out with that glove. He's out challenging the shooter and hangs onto it. But you know, the Canadiens are using more than just one particular player to get in front of Billy Smith. You know, who's ever out there and makes up his mind to get in front of them, they're doing that and getting good position.
49 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Chelios, and the Islanders intercepted that weak pass by Chelios. There's a long shot. And Chelios turning with Mondou, Robinson, Turnbull. It goes to center to Mondou. Mondou is at the line. Here's Mondou stepping in there. And he finally lost it. Robinson can't keep it in. And in the penalty, we are down now to 18 seconds in the Canadiens' final rush on this penalty. Here it goes to Turnbull trying to cut in front. And it's shot down the ice. And that'll do it for the offensive effort on the penalty for the Canadiens, because Dineen is out of the penalty box. Chelios turning with Walter and Lafleur along with McPhee, the 4 of them. They dump it in there. McPhee was spun around at the line, and he went flying. Canadiens are leading 2-1 in the second period. Trottier is dashing down. Ludwig just got a piece of him. Here's Boutilier in the corner. McPhee is after him. Trottier went flying over Ludwig. And the ice it goes, and it's going to be icing if the Islanders touch it. They do.
Oh, the Islanders killed the penalty, but Al Arbour and his team trail by 1. 9:46 left, second period.
And the Canadiens on a goal by Shutt in the second period, leading 2-1. Mondou for Montreal, Gillies for the Islanders in the first period. Shots on goal, 13-11 in front of the Canadiens in that department. Now Boutilier trying to get away on the right side. He cleared it to Trottier, over for Bossy. He backhands it in. There's big Tonelli. Going in, Trottier helping out, getting it back to Morrow. And he chopped a sliding and rising shot that went way over the top of the net and over the glass.
Last time I saw Ken Morrow take a shot from almost that exact same spot on an ice surface, it went in behind the goaltender, Glenn Hanlon, and they won in overtime against the Rangers. Gary, as this game starts to settle in now, I think the key at this particular moment, the lack of a solid attack by the Islanders. They're just not getting the chances as we look at Trombley hacking away at Boutilier.
Well, Dick, that's a good point. See, once the Islanders get it into Montreal end, they're not winning the one-on-one battles. I've never seen the Canadiens take out the man and pin him. Don't let him back in the play. That last about 3 minutes ago, you know, it was done to perfection. The guy can't do anything. He's pinned against the boards. Can't get a chance for a loose puck.
Now Chelios Green can't get it out. Goring coming back. And the pass is a little sharp. It got by Gillies. Here's Hunter cutting in on the right side. Plays it back in there. And Dineen, fresh from a stay in the penalty box, passes it to Gillies. Now Potvin, who has spearheaded a lot of the attack for the Islanders. And he took the shot, but it was offside.
You know, they talk about Trottier as we look at Bryan right now on the bench. Trottier, Bossy, you know, they seem to be the two names that are mentioned when you talk about the Islanders scoring goals. Boy, when you nullify those two fellas the way the Canadiens have done, there just isn't anybody come along, Gary, to pick up the slack at all.
You're absolutely right, and you know, you look at the two guys responsible for that is Carbonneau and Mario Tremblay, and Lemaire has asked them to do a job, and that's their concentration is directed at those two individuals.
Now Canadiens on the right side. Mondou with Näslund going right in on goal. He scores!
Look at the reaction of the fans in Montreal. Huh. And look at that reaction of the coach of the Islanders.
The battle for the loose pucks, again, won by the Canadiens. Mondou, his speed, hits Näslund. There's the shot. Gilbert was in pursuit, just couldn't catch up to Näslund. Tries to get him from behind, but Näslund beat Billy Smith. Again, it's the quickness of the Canadiens. They go for the loose puck, and they're able to come up with it and execute a play. That's about 3 2-on-1s that have resulted in a scoring opportunity. The first goal, 3-on-1, Canadiens capitalized, and then a 2-on-1.
Goal scored by number 26, Näslund. Avec l'aide du numéro 6, assisted by number 6, Pierre Mondou. À 11 minutes, 24 secondes, at 11 minutes, 24 seconds.
Now here come the Islanders. Brent Sutter around the net. Gilbert and Flatley are cruising around in front. Now Gilbert off the board, gets it in front. And Turnbull starts out for Montreal with Lafleur along with Hamel. Turnbull is upended by Boutilier. And the Canadian supporters are infuriated. They thought there should have been an assessment of a minor penalty against Boutilier. Montreal leading 3-1 with 7:35 left in the second period. Tonelli over on the other side. Carbonneau is belted at the line by Denis. Now Canadiens going after it again on the right side. Potvin and Trombley go to the ice. So the Islanders have to be stunned right now behind 3-1. And they will accentuate that offense as they have never accentuated it previously in this game. But they're having trouble shaking off Canadian centers. There's a shot wide. Canadians came close again. Trottier digging into the center ice area. Robinson took a quick look over his shoulder, trying to shake off Tonelli. He gets it to Gainey. Gainey, a rink-wide pass, gobbled up by Carbonneau. Carbonneau in on the line. Carbonneau trying to put it in front. Now all the players just stop there. And finally, the Islanders get possession. After a rocky start, Canadians have come on. Now Tonelli cutting in off the left side. That's a Trottier shot. Rebound. Bossy couldn't get it. Here's Tonelli. Back to the line to Morrow. Morrow clearing it in there. And Robinson with that big reach gets it for Montreal. He gives it to Shutt with Smith and Hunter. In over the line. Shutt shooting it there. And it went off Smith. Now here's Smith of Montreal.
Bryan Trottier is going to draw a penalty live on CBC. This is Stanley Cup 84. Bryan Trottier dumped a Canadian player deep in the Montreal zone. Might have been Craig Ludwig, not sure. And that's where the penalty was called. There it is right there beside the Montreal net. It is Ludwig. Now watch this.
Really not a good penalty to take, Dick. And talking to the coaches this morning, Trottier has taken about 6 penalties like that in the Ranger and Washington series. Perhaps frustration has set in.
High sticking call on Bryan Trottier at 14:05.
And the Canadiens with Smith, Nyland, and Näslund. We have Goring on with Brent Sutter. Robinson is shot right on the rebound. Cleared away. And the Canadiens almost made it 4-1. Now they keep it in there. Here's Näslund going in. He faked the shot. At the line, Robinson clearing it in. Canadiens are on the power play. Robinson going after it. It's back near the line. And Goring starts down. He's stopped there by Näslund. Now Smith is in over the line. Here's Smith. Laying it back in off the boards. Potvin losing it. Then he falls on it. And we have 1 minute and 22 seconds left in the penalty.
This program is copyrighted and restricted for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, distribution, or exhibition in whole or in part without the express written consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited. You know, a lot of shots of Jacques Lemaire on the bench, but there was a fellow standing beside him, Danny, a minute ago, Jacques Laperriere, who has to get a pretty good share of the credit for the way this team has performed, because they talk about the defense that has improved so drastically over the last few weeks, and Laperriere is the man in charge of the Canadiens' defensive corps.
Well, since the first, 2 minutes of the hockey game, the Canadiens have just smothered the attack of the Islanders, and again, it's very difficult to get any kind of a line going in full force when as soon as you touch the puck, there's a white jersey right beside you, and that's exactly what happened. Islanders 2 shots in this period. No dangerous scoring chances whatsoever.
A statistical reflection to butters your statement. There's a shot. The Islanders have 11 shots, and you know they had 5 after 2.5 minutes. Now the Canadiens, Chelios takes the shot. He's wide with it. Here's Hunter behind the net. It's Shutt. Shutt getting set. Hands it off to Mondou. Back it goes to Green. There's the shot. Rebound. And Goring shoots it down the ice. And there are 48 seconds. The time remaining in the penalty to Trottier. Montreal leading in the hockey game 3-1. And they go to the attack led by McPhee and Lafleur. And the speed of Lafleur did not stand him in good stead.
Well, I think maybe the inexperience of McPhee had something to do with it, too. When he's going like that, Gary, give it to him, I guess.
Either that or dump it in the corner. He had the Jets going that time. You know, Danny and Dick, as we watch now, it's just a case of Canadiens outworking the Islanders. I think we'll have to agree to that. They're just all over them. Every line, every player.
And how often has somebody said that in the past 4 years, that somebody has outworked the Islanders in a playoff game? They're doing it exactly the way the Islanders did it, so far, anyway.
Now Robinson shoved in on the boards by Gilbert. Nimble maneuvers there by McPhee. Off his knees, on his skate, made the pass, got it back. Now lost it to Kallur, and Kallur decided to go to the ice. Now Chelios coming out slowly. Robinson moves up on the right wing. 10 seconds left in the penalty. Now, Kallur knocked it back. Chelios ahead to McPhee and over the line, and now we have the expiration of the penalty to Trottier. Let's see what's going on here.
Might be, no. In any event, we'll find out in a moment. Our Stanley Cup playoff action continues in just a moment.
On the ice at 16 minutes, 9 seconds.
Too many men on the ice for Montreal. If our coach was here, he'd say, don't take a picture of Jacques Lemaire because it's not his fault. You can't tell from that particular shot. But in any event, the Islanders, who have had no attack at all in the second period, now get a power play chance. 3:51 left.
And a good point you made, Dick. Number 22, Mike Bossy, a prolific goal scorer, has not had a shot in the game. Again, Gainey just doing an outstanding job checking the likes of Mike Bossy.
It is Trottier with Bossy and Tonelli. The Canadiens trying to clear it down the ice. Ludwig had to go over the glass. And we're down to 3:45 left. Now that Dick has disappeared, I'm going to move over once again and get some words of wisdom right here from Mr. Dornhofer.
Well, the only words of wisdom, Danny, is the Islanders, if they're going to mount a comeback, this would be an opportune time to do that. Their specialty teams just have not been able to execute during the playoffs. But we all know that that certainly can change at any moment.
And right here you see what checking will do on a team on the power play when they haven't got the opportunity to set up. They're offside, they're missing with passes. In other words, there's no cohesiveness in the attack.
And again, that's exactly what the Canadiens have been doing all game, is bump and grind. And you know, Al Arbour, he doesn't even have Potvin on the point on this power play, trying to get some other people out there to get things going. Boutilier and Jonsson are now working the power play.
And Boutilier from behind the net. On the left side, he has Tonelli coming down, and Bossy cuts over also to the left wing. And they drill it in there. And that nullifies the rush because the Boutilier's shot was high over the glass. So things are not going well at this juncture in the game for the New York Islanders.
Well, they've tried everything, Danny. They've tried to carry it over. The Canadiens have stood up with that blue line. They've intercepted passes, poke check the puck. They try to shoot it in. It goes into the crowd. Things are just not bouncing right for the New York Islanders. But to get things going, it's a combination of dumping it in when both wingers are in full flight so that you can arrive at the corner with the Canadian defenseman. And then at least you have a chance of coming up with a loose puck.
And we are down to 1 minute and 27 seconds left in the penalty. Now in behind the net. Jonsson fed it to the corner. It is Turnbull who is sitting out the too many men on the ice penalty against the Canadiens. Now here come the Islanders. Potvin is on. He drops it back to Tonelli. Over on the other side, Jonsson giving it to Bossy. Getting it back. Potvin shoots. He scores! Potvin! That was beautifully set up. Potvin has an excellent shot when you get it back.
Has an excellent shot and got an opportunity to use it. But let's watch the Islanders now. They had 3 men over on the right side trying to break up that box. They did with a perfect pass, and Potvin sliding in from his point man, got to the top of the circle. Canadians really, Carbonneau was looking at the puck carrier, you know, instead of looking around at Potvin. And once Potvin spots that opening, he just moves in and used Carbonneau as a screen and past the goaltender. So the Islanders, looking for some kind of a life, Danny, may have gotten in that power play goal.
Here's the announcement.
And number 3, Tomas Jonsson. À 17 minutes 7 secondes, at 17 minutes 7 seconds.
So that's a big goal for the Islanders. That could be the catalyst. They look rather dispirited. They weren't doing too much when they got behind 3-1, but they get that goal on the power play to make it 3-2, and we're down to 2:34 left in the second period.
Now it's amazing how momentum can change from shift to shift, or when a goal is scored or a good hit. Now we'll watch closely if that goal will inspire the Islanders to go to the offensive, or if the Canadiens can regroup and say, all right, guys, we gave one up. Let's get it back.
Now here is Hamel. He shot it in. Boutilier, he's seen a lot of service out there for the Islanders. He takes a look and he swings the pass to Morrow on the right side. There's a long lead pass. Green slapped it back. Pearson, if you've just joined us, has a slight shoulder separation apparently, and he is out of action for the rest of this game, and that's a big loss for the Islanders.
Now the Islanders are now down to 5 defensemen. That's what the Montreal Canadiens have employed in both games, going with 5 defense.
And there's number 5, and one of the 5 defensemen for the Canadiens, Green. Montreal 3, New York 2. Chelios to Robinson. He gave it away. And it was swept away from Goring by Mondou. There's a lead pass. Näslund going in there behind the net. And it is icing called against the Canadiens as they play down to 2 minutes remaining in the second period. And, you know, the Islanders, Dick and I indicated, and I don't know whether you agree or not, but I would think they have to come back and win this hockey game tonight. Otherwise, their chances of going on to win the series are minimal. There is Näslund trying to get it. What their job would be then after tonight's game, should they lose it, they'd have to win 4 to 5, and that's a big, big order.
Very difficult to do, but remember, the next couple of games are in Nassau Coliseum, and the Islanders play very well there. But Danny, a lot of time left. Don't turn off your TV set just now.
There are 22 minutes in regulation time, 20 for the third period, 2 minutes left here in the second. The Islanders, everybody up. They have Duane Sutter along with Goring and Gillies and Potvin and Jonsson, but the Canadiens get the draw, and Chelios plays it to the board. Montreal trying to get it out. They lose it. Now into the corner. It's Smith jammed in there gently by Goring. Gillies trying to get loose against Chelios. And so they'll get another face-off here in the Canadian zone with 1 minute and 46 seconds left.
Interesting watching the sequence there as the Islanders in the offensive zone doing some good forechecking. I was looking at the slot. It was well covered by Steve Shutt. In case the Islanders got possession and dumped it in that area, Canadians were not about to give a good scoring chance up.
Now we have Goring facing off against Smith. And the players moving all over the place before the puck is dropped. Do you think perhaps the linesmen do not execute that quickly enough that they hold on to the puck?
Well, I don't know, Danny. I think once everybody's set, just drop it and let the guys go at it. But what the player does is try to anticipate the drop, because they have to get to their positions as quickly as possible.
Now here's Potvin taking the shot, knocked down by Robinson. Robinson cleared it to the line. Hunter can't get it out. Potvin rolled it back in there. Gillies was upended by Chelios. A lot of pressure here by the Islanders. There's a loose puck in front of the net. And Robinson is stopped after clearing it because before that, I think there was a puck glove to Robinson.
It's interesting. The Islanders had a man in front. Potvin on a couple occasions was able to get the shot on net. Now what Robinson will do, there's the glove hand pass, is get in front of the man screening. Instead of getting him out of there, block the shot. In game one, Potvin must have blocked 5 or 6 shots, letting the man stand in front, and he would stop the puck before it got to the goaltender. So you notice on that play, Danny, that Tremblay is trying to anticipate the draw because he wants to go to number 4, Boutilier, at the point.
It's back to Boutilier, but there was an infraction somewhere in that area of the circle to the right of Penny, so that's an operation that will be executed again. Back it goes to Boutilier for the shot, and he's wide with it. There's Trottier centering it to the side of the net, and Penny is going to hold on. So there's a lot of pressure here, concentration of an all-out offensive effort by the Islanders with time winding down in the second period and trailing by the 1 goal.
Now look at
Potvin threw his stick at the linesman, didn't he? Did I catch that peripherally?
Now Potvin is really chewing at sweet nuts. Saying if it's an icing, blow the whistle. I didn't hear it.
Potvin is really worked up, isn't he? And we're going to have Potvin incurring a penalty. Look at it here.
Now there you see they play with Smith. He's got his hands, or Potvin has his hands up in the air, wondering what's going on. The signal is icing. And you saw Hunter coming in quite curiously to try to nullify that.
2 minutes pour conduite non sportive. À 19 minutes 38 secondes. Highlanders penalty, number 5, Denis Potvin. 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. at 19 minutes, 38 seconds.
So Denis Potvin is off on sportsmanlike conduct, and that, of course, is a big break for the Canadiens because they were about to be called for icing, and the face-off would have gone down to the left of Penny. And the Islanders could continue to press, and the net result is Potvin picks up the penalty. There's a pass in front. And Gainey went flying over Smith. Over to Robinson. Robinson getting it to Näslund. Back to Robinson. Robinson on the board. We're down to 4 seconds. Back it goes to Näslund. There's a shot. And it hopped off Smith's stick. Now Billy Smith and Robinson. But Smith skates away. Players are off the bench. And let us hope that we'll not have something of the nature that happened on Friday night. When are players going to realize that they are strangling a part of their livelihood by this type of action? Not particularly that it is, but anything that should break out and bring about fistic disorder. Let's keep it to hockey.
Very well said, sir. Very well said.
Nonsense. Our Stanley Cup playoff excitement continues shortly with a second intermission. Canadiens leading the Islanders 3-2. The teams are skating around prior to the start of the third period. Shutt, Näslund, and Potvin scoring in that order in the second period. The shots on goal. A big margin for the Canadiens, 13-3. And the score, Canadiens 3 and the Islanders 2. And Gary Dornhofer, I would think that Coach Arbor has to be terribly concerned with the offensive way that the Islanders have performed so far in this series after one game and 2 periods of the second.
Danny, as a team, the Islanders have not played very well. They didn't play very well against the Rangers. Billy Smith bailed them out. They didn't play very well against the Washington Capitals. Again, Billy Smith came through. Perhaps they're digging the hole they might not be able to get out of.
Well, let us see what unfolds here early in the third period. Potvin is in the penalty box with 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining as Robinson ignites the attack for the Canadiens. Over it goes to Chelios. He whipped the shot. And the rebound off the boards almost went to Näslund. Now here's Näslund getting set. He sent it right in front. And it actually turned out to be a pass that had the makings of a shot and went wide. Here is Smith. Smith dropping it back to Chelios. Chelios in for Smith. Smith over there, the other side. They score! Näslund!
Not very often that you miss the net and get a second chance. But what a play by Bobby Smith. Here's the setup, Chelios to Smith. Now watch as he fires a rink-wide pass. It glanced off the goalpost against the backboard, but to his credit, Näslund stayed with it. The puck came right back to him, and you saw the dance. And then he go in the air after scoring the goal. And Smith was not in very good position on that one, Danny.
Well, as you say, he was set up beautifully, and then the glorious opportunity was missed when he shot it wide. And you wouldn't think he'd have another opportunity. Then in delayed fashion, it came back and he fired it home. Here's the announcer.
6, Näslund. Avec l'aide du numéro 15, assisted by number 15, Bobby Smith. Et du numéro 24 and number 24, Chris Chelios. 47 secondes at 47 seconds.
47 seconds, the time of the power play goal. Montreal ahead by 2 again. There's Bossy centering it, and it almost went in off Carbonneau's stick. There's a shot by Dineen nowhere near the net. And a feathery pass, screen to Carbonneau. In over the line. Back it goes for Gainey. Loose puck in front. And it was shot by Trombley. That was sort of a change of pace shot. But Smith had to watch it carefully. Now here's Bossy. Swinging it over on an open right wing. because the Islanders are in the process of making changes while the play goes on. It's ripped in there by Green. And you can see the Canadian strategy unfolding here. They're sending their defense up the center, trying to keep that puck in there deep. They forecheck, and Shutt almost got a break. Robinson intercepts. Robinson is in over the line. Tries to clear it in there. And Goring, who loves to skate, passes it to Boutilier, back to Goring to Boutilier. Over on this side, and Morrow has it for the Islanders.
Danny, look at how many plays the Canadians break up between the two blue lines. That's where you generate your speed for a line. They're all over the Islanders between those blue lines.
And you know, the Islanders had to make so many passes and actually didn't get anywhere.
That's right.
Now here are the Islanders. Morrow, spinorama shot, and it hit a leg. Not too much on that. Now on the board, Smith. Laying it on the left side, he picks it up himself. Good work by Smith. Brilliant moves. Over to Hunter. Back for Smith. He was checked by Morrow. Now Duane Hunter. Goring picked up the Duane Sutter pass, cleared it in there. Robinson from the corner. Long pass down on the right side. Here's Nyland going in on goal. And a blistering shot wide. There's a weak shot. And it was tipped to the side by Smith. Now Canadians with Näslund trying to get through there. And Näslund is jammed in on the boards by Brent Sutter. On the left side, Paul Boutilier flicked it to center. Chelios gives it to Näslund, who rammed it back into the Islanders' zone. 16 minutes and 10 seconds the time left in regulation time. Flatley on the right wing. It's dropped back to Jonsson. Canadians taking over. They can't clear it out. Flatley struggles to get into the corner area. Couldn't get it away from Chelios. Chelios tried to kick it ahead. And the Islanders finally get possession. Back it comes. He's back in front. And Green took it away from Brent Sutter. Now here's McPhee hopping in on that right side. It's a good thing he missed the top and check. Otherwise, he may have been up there on the third row of seats on the west side. Here's Lafleur shooting it in. Montreal pouring players off the bench. So are the Islanders. Bossy is out there. Trombley stopping Trottier. Gainey playing it back. Hamel on the other side to Ludwig. Trombley is bumped there by Trottier. He flicked it in there, and the play is stopped.
Well, this is Stanley Cup 84 on CBC.
Canadien, le numéro 23, Bob Gainey, 2 minutes chacun pour avoir 5 lignes. À 4 minutes 52 secondes. The penalties to the Islanders, number 27, John Tonelli, to the Canadians, number 23, Bob Gainey, 2 minutes each for slashing at 4 minutes, 52 seconds.
Maybe now Bossy will have a chance to get some free ice because he hasn't had it against Gainey.
Now it is Shutt playing it back. Ludwig lugs it in over the line. Coming in from the right side, Carbonneau, he couldn't get it, but Shutt is going to get it. Plays it back in there, and it's dragged out over the line. Robinson ties up Trottier. Carbonneau is coming back in. Carbonneau rattled that one off Dineen's leg. And then he was bumped by Trottier. Captain Potvin getting away from Näslund. Potvin clearing it in there. Bossy couldn't get it. Robinson chopping it ahead to Carbonneau all over the line. Näslund crisscrosses. Now they crisscross again, back to Näslund. Näslund around the net, still with it. He's sending it right in front. And the Canadians fail to pick it up. What enormous speed and brilliant playmaking by Näslund. 53 seconds. The time left in the penalties. Canadians are leading the Islanders 4-2. If you've just joined us, we're in the third period with 13:52 left. There's Näslund working on the right side. Gillies puts the grab on him. Robinson takes over from Gillies. Robinson on the right side to Näslund. Now the Islanders are called on the offside.
Tonight's game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
How to build an expensive radial tire. You build it tough. So tough it meets or exceeds national brand specifications. You build it to last with a 5-year road hazard guarantee. In fact, you build a tire so good it can do something you might not have thought possible. It can replace one or all of the present radials in your car, no matter what brand they are. That's the way we build every Canadian Tire radial tire. It's everything an expensive tire should be, except expensive.
Canadians 4 and the Islanders 2. And Hamel is back there in pursuit of Nystrom along with Kallur and Lafleur. Coming out, passes it off the Walter, back to Lafleur. Lafleur has to play it to Green into Walter. Walter is in over the line trying to shake off 4 Islanders. Now Green has it, waits for Lafleur to get onside, and Lafleur over for Walter. Now here's Walter with it. He leads Lafleur in there toward the corner, back to Walter. Potvin and Ryan Walter mixing it up. And Nystrom gently gets it over to Potvin, with the Islanders having difficulty getting some skating room. Now they break in over the line. Nystrom ahead, it goes to Dineen. He hit the side of the net. And Hamel was belted to the ice by Dineen. He looks like a fine young hockey player. At least he's aggressive, number 2, Dineen.
You ought to look at an interesting statistics. If you could get by the first minute of play when the Islanders outshot the Canadiens 4-0, since then they have been outshot 20-8, including this one, the Näslund power play goal.
Well, you notice the left defenseman he committed by taking the man out in front of the net, and that allowed Näslund to have a free shot of it. And you know, I have never seen such high intensity as the Canadiens have right now. They're just doing it every single line that goes out there. There's Dineen that Danny was talking about. He eliminates the check.
Now here's Morrow, a shot, who's stuck in front of the net. It was tipped by Sutter, another shot. Canadians finally clear it into the corner. Oh, that was a close call. With Brent Sutter right in there, trying to fire it by pennies. Canadians with a 2-goal margin, 4-2. Chelios is back there. He's being pursued and bumped by Gilbert. Chelios takes his time. Shutt tries to golf it out. Now Flatley is stopping it there. He whipped the shot 2 feet wide. Jonsson clearing it in. Pressure here by the Islanders. Flatley getting it back. Now a shot off Robinson's skate. Chelios to the other side. Jonsson hops on it. Chelios goes back in there. He would be satisfied to fall on the puck, and that's exactly what happened.
Dick, I'd like to ask you, in this game tonight, how many 3-on-2s or 2-on-1s have the Canadians given up?
Well, look back to the 2 games. How many have they given up? That's been one of the keys. That last sequence that Danny mentioned, how the Islanders came so close, and indeed they did. But in the final analysis, there was just no room.
No, every man is covered. There's no good scoring chances being allowed by the Montreal Canadiens. And in tonight's contest, the Canadians scored on a 3-on-1, and they scored on a 2-on-1. Very uncharacteristic of the New York Islanders to give the game away. They don't beat themselves very often.
And now the Islanders, everybody up. 12:01, the time left in regulation time. There's Ludwig against Tonelli. Trottier around the net. Getting it back to Dineen. There's the shot. It rolls in front. Canadians are going to come up with it again, and they pass it ahead to Gainey. Conley comes in on the other side now. A pass over there. Carbonneau, a big shot. And a marvelous save by Billy Smith on Carbonneau. Good setup by the Canadians. In over the line comes Bossy. Bossy takes a look. Back to the line it goes. Dineen is shot and it's blocked by Gainey. And there seems to be a Canadian there at all times to block shots, Gary.
You pay the price for winning hockey games, Danny, and the Montreal Canadiens are paying that price. They're getting involved. They're doing everything that they can to win hockey games.
Now here's Tonelli in there against Ludwig. Duane Sutter comes up with it. Goring is in front of the net. However, the pass was deflected by Ludwig. Now Hamel coming up with it. Ahead it goes. Trombley over on this side. Here's Mondou cutting in on the wing. Mondou twisting and turning. He got rid of it. And he goes to the Canadiens bench. And number 26, who has been a growing concern, particularly in the playoffs for the Canadiens, is out there. That is Näslund. Now it's back there to Morrow. Weak shot. Now here's Näslund. Out over the line. Plays it back to Robinson. Robinson is chased back there by Goring. Nyland on the right side is in over the line. Gives it out. And Näslund has it knocked away by Morrow. Canadiens 4, Islanders 2. Montreal coming in with a shot by Näslund. It was way wide. The angle was just about impossible. Now Gillies giving it to Morrow up on the right side. And Trottier stumbles. Here's Trottier again at the line. Trying to keep it in there. Robinson will get clear of it. And the Canadiens, well nigh impenetrable in a productive way for the Islanders. Canadiens, when the Islanders get in there, they don't give them the opportunity to get these good shots on goal. Now Robinson takes over, failed to clear it out. Johnson is going in there. It is over some of it. A backhand shot. And again, Penny comes up and keeps that puck out of the net.
And again, an ovation for Steve Penny, and the Canadian Stanley Cup 84 resumes in just a moment. Continues, the Islanders get worse. Bob Bourne has had to leave the game. He's out now with a strained knee. They lost their defenseman Persson with a shoulder injury, so there's two regulars that have been sidelined in this hockey game.
And now the Islanders, everybody up. Here's Flatley. Green is after him. Flatley prevails, and finally he lost it to Hunter, who shot it out. Left wing pass. Smith is in over the New York line. Here's Smith trying to center it. And Morrow racing back for the Islanders. Feeds a beautiful pass to Sutter over on this side of Flatley. Flatley falls, and again the Canadiens are there to take over. And they carry it off the boards down the ice. Billy Smith handing it off to Boutilier. Canadiens keeping it here. Trombley shooting it. And he rattled that one off the leg of Morrow. Canadiens are going to get it again. Trombley, good move by Trombley. He's upended. And the crowd reacting on that. They think there should be a penalty right in front of Näslund. And he fired it off the stick over the glass.
So happiness reigns supreme at the Forum. It's 4-2 Canadiens.
Canadiens with a 2-goal lead. They lead 4-2. And the clock indicating in regulation time 8:15 left. Dineen over to Potvin. Montreal will take over, and they clear it. And it's over the boards. And a spectator gets a souvenir to the left of the Islanders' net.
We are going to have Stanley Cup update right now. There has been a goal scored at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. The Oilers meeting the Minnesota North Stars in the first period. And the Oilers, who were big 7-1 winners in Game 1, take the lead. Yaroslav Huzar does the scoring. Tom Beaupre is the goaltender. Great pass. Huzar from the edge of the crease. And the Oilers have the lead.
Now here's Dineen. He has a return by Potvin. Back to Potvin. He hits Trottier at the line. He struggled to get in over the line. Tonelli dropping it back, and the Canadiens starting out 3-on-1. Trombley in over the line. Gives it to Gainey. He fired, and then Potvin was in front of him. Now Potvin clearing it up on the right side. With the Islanders going all out offensively, they are going to become vulnerable, I would think, Gary, at some periods in the next 7.5 minutes. Now here's Trombley going back in there. The Islanders, Dineen around the net. Up on the wing it goes to Trottier with Bossy. It's dropped back to Potvin. Potvin goes to the line. A Hunter hit Trottier. Here's Tonelli trying to shake off Hamel. And Robinson takes over. Smith knocked Tonelli down, and Smith looked toward the referee. He thought there might have been a penalty. There's Hunter in on the boards behind the Islanders' net. Hunter trying to center it. Out in front, there's a shot by Shutt. And it doesn't take Shutt very long to get that shot away once the pass hits his stick. Green over the other side to Hamel to Smith. Smith hits the line. He has McPhee with him. Now Goring is breaking out. He has Duane Sutter with him. They crisscross at the line. Over it goes for Sutter. And it's behind him. Clark Gillies takes a shot. The shot in front of the net. And Duane Sutter just failed to corral it. Here's Potvin shooting it. Down goes Penny. And he holds it up. He's outstanding.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal. Well, this is the reason for the latest standing ovation for Steve Penny.
When the Islanders have mounted a threat which has not been very many times tonight, Steve Penny has come to the rescue.
Now there's Chelios. Takes a look off the boards. It goes into the center ice area. And now exactly 6 minutes left in this the third period. Montreal leading by 2. They have the score in their favor, 4-2, and Nystrom coming in on the right side. Knocked to the ice by Gainey. And what a great performer Gainey has been in the playoffs all around. Lafleur fired it to the boards, not out. Potvin whipped it back in there. Now Kallur in the corner, getting set. Kallur trying to get into that slot area. And he sits on the puck and he gets a face-off.
Well, we saw a goal by Edmonton. There's been some confusion as to just who scored it, but it was an Oiler. And they lead 1-0, and we get another one. Gary, you know these fellas. There's number 9. That's Glenn Anderson.
I'll keep your eye on number 13, Ken Linsman. It looks like he's the guy that deflects it in the net, and the Oilers are ahead of the North Stars 2-0.
Boy, it didn't take them long. They outscored them 9-1 in 3.5 periods out there. There's Tim Raines, the Expos outfielder, who is one of the many members of the Expos organization looking on here tonight.
Well, gentlemen, perhaps in the first game, the Canadiens outworked, well, they did outwork the Islanders, but twice in a row, that is hard to believe, but it is happening.
Here's Flatley. Flatley around the net. He centered it in, got a backhand dribbling shot, another shot, and it hit the side of the net. The angle was very severe.
All right, quick question, Danny. When's the last time the Islanders had a clear shot?
First 3 minutes of the game?
Golly.
Well, the Potvin goal is the last one that comes to mind. They're just bottling up the middle. They're not giving that middle area away to the New York Islanders, because that's where a lot of goals are scored.
The Lemaire style of hockey. There's Rocket.
He'd fit into the Lemaire style of hockey, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but I was going to say the Lemaire style of hockey is not conducive to the opposition getting good shots. He took over that junior team last year, Longueuil, got them into the finals. He did it over in, where was he, in Switzerland?
Discipline in a system is what it's all about, Danny, and if you can get 18 guys following a system and carrying it out, it works. I've seen it work with our hockey club, and I've seen it here in these first 2 games.
Well, obviously, he's getting the cooperation of all the players. You can have the greatest ideas in the world. Unless the players go out there and execute them, not much is going to happen.
Excellent point.
There's Morrow. There's a deflection just wide. Oh, the Islanders came within an eighth of a goal post. Now, here's Nystrom in the corner. Back it goes, and it's deflected there by Walter. Down the ice it goes. Boutilier is back there, and the Canadiens are called for icing. And relentlessly, the minutes move on, and we're down now to 4:46.
Well, we are seeing vintage Larry Robinson, Gary, throughout the playoffs. You've had a pretty good look at the way he has been playing, and I can tell you it's been that way right from Game 1 in Boston.
Well, I remember Larry Robinson when we were going for a third cup, and he was very instrumental in making sure that we wouldn't do that. Just a tower of strength behind the blue line. He's getting involved now. A gentleman, something that I haven't seen him do for the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, he makes contact, and he knocks you off the puck, and then when he gets the time, he can feather a pass to a streaking winger.
Next game in this series will be Saturday in Long Island, and then on Tuesday. Now Carbonneau plays it to the other side. Here is Hamel, and he just gently rolled it into the center ice area. And the Islanders, who need 2 goals to get back into even terms, they move in there trying to get possession. Now Jonsson clearing it in, and the Canadiens are starting out. Carbonneau coming down with Tremblay. Carbonneau has it knocked off his stick, but the Canadiens take over, and they pound that puck back into the Islanders' zone. And you have the defense moving up there. Ludwig along with Hamel. Now they drop back. Trottier over to Bossy. There's a pass. Was out off the leg. A puck back. And the Islanders are being caught up in a tremendous web of frustration the way the Canadiens are chucking them. Now here's Robinson playing it down on the right side. And 3 minutes and 45 seconds left, and Montreal in possession after an attempted pass by the Islanders. Mondou clearing it in. Gillies coming out with Jonsson. Pass goes to Duane Sutter in over the line. Oh, what a save on that one! Live on CBC, this is stand 4-2 for the Canadiens. And 3:28 left. Roland Melanson is going in goal for the Islanders. Al Arbour is trying everything. This will be a respite for his team in a sense. They'll take some shots on Melanson. And I don't know how valuable that type of strategy is at this particular juncture in the game.
I don't think strategy is involved at all, Danny. I think maybe to talk things over with the guys on the bench and say, look, let's have a little rest, and then we've got to give it all we have for the last 3 minutes and 28 seconds. The offense has not been there for the New York Islanders.
Our Stanley Cup playoff action continues in a moment. And there you see Melanson, a native of Montreal. It may be Dieppe, just out south. I want to get that geographically correct before people start to write to me. So for tonight, both Dieppe and Montreal take credit for this fine young goalie, Roland Melanson.
I think on the flight home tonight, the Islanders are unable to pull this one out. And there'll be a lot of soul-searching by the New York Islanders. You know, they are just not playing like a 4-time Stanley Cup championship team. Being outworked, outmuscled, they haven't won the one-on-one battles. They're not beating anybody in the corners. And it's very, very frustrating as a player. As soon as you touch the puck, you have somebody checking you. And the Canadiens have been so persistent. And I think a lot has to do with the gentleman you see behind the bench. The line changes have been short. The Canadiens are not overstaying their shifts. Consequently, they can apply that good pressure at all times.
Mondou, Gillies, Shutt, Näslund, Potvin, and Näslund scoring in that order. And now we welcome those who have been watching the Edmonton-Minnesota game. 3:28 the time left here at the Forum of Montreal. Gillies scoring in the first period. It was 1-1. Then Shutt and Näslund give the Canadiens a 3-1 lead. Potvin near the end of the second period to make it 3-2. And Näslund after 47 seconds from Smith and Chelios. That's 47 seconds into the third period. The Islanders not getting many good chances. Let's see if Jonsson can get it on the net. There's the shot. And so often, a Canadian defenseman, this time Chelios, blocked the shot, but Chelios has been injured. This young man has been outstanding for the Canadiens, Gary.
He's been a tower of strength, and the poise that he's shown everybody with his play behind the blue line. He doesn't get flustered. You know, when a team puts the heat on, automatically a defenseman will fire that puck around the boards or give it away. That hasn't been the case with Chelios. He's remained calm and cool at all times.
And
Billy Smith is back in the net again. At the first stoppage of play, he replaced Melanson. That's just for a little timeout, give the players a rest, and then ready for the onslaught.
Well,
here's from the face-off, and let's watch the work of Chelios in front of the net. I think he'll stop a shot here. And the Islanders are jamming the front of the net. They have to try to solve the riddle of Steve Penny.
well, we have mentioned almost ad nauseum tonight about the Islanders having very few scoring opportunities after the first 2.5 minutes. I'm going to repeat it for the benefit of those who have been watching the Edmonton, Minnesota game. After 2.5 minutes, the Islanders out shooting Montreal 5-0, and of the 5 shots, 4 of them were Gilbert scoring opportunities for the Islanders. Now here are the Islanders again. They flip it in front, and it's out over the line. But Gary, as you mentioned, aside from the goals by Gillies and Potvin, the Islanders have not had too much scoring for them offensively since early in the first period.
They're playing like a tight hockey club also, Danny. You notice how many passes bounce off the sticks. They're behind players in the skates. They just have not had any flow to their attack. And the reason why? They've been harassed. Trottier's had a very frustrating 2 games. Mike Bossy has not had a shot in the hockey game. Now look at Robinson as he applies the stick to John Tonelli, clearing the front of the net so Penny can have a look at that puck.
And we are down to 2 minutes and 50 seconds, the time left in regulation time. The Islanders, if they have ever accentuated offense, they have to do it now. Now there's Nyland. He checked his man, and Green clearing it out over the line. Näslund going after it. What an exciting young hockey player Näslund is, number 26. And some people said he's too small, but he's been mixing it up with the big guys.
Try and catch him, too.
Now here's Green, shooting it to the other side. They're starting to sing here at the Forum of Montreal. Dineen is going in there. He's knocked off, balanced by Hamel. Gilbert has it, getting it back to Flatley, and he couldn't keep it in. Back goes Boutilier, and his clearing pass is over the glass, down to 2 minutes and 1 second.
They started the singing a little earlier tonight, Danny, about 40 seconds earlier. As 2:01 remained with the Canadiens with a 2-goal advantage. Näslund has been exceptional. The ability to hang on and make plays in traffic. Got a great breakaway goal on a perfect feed from Mondou on a 2-on-1 break. That's been the downfall of the New York Islanders, giving 3-on-1 and 2-on-1 breaks.
Näslund has a beautiful attitude. He's tremendously popular with the Canadian players. Now in there goes Clark Gillies. He knocks Penny off balance. Here's Hudson with the shot. The puck loose in front. There's a shot. And it went off Robinson. Penny was scrambling to get back in there. Here's Robinson. Taken in on the boards by Goring. McPhee is in there to help out. He was knocked to the ice by Gillies. They struggle like close quarters. Duane Sutter behind the net. Sutter getting it back. Here's Jonsson winding up. He fakes the shot. Jonsson cutting it on that right side. They roll it right in front. And Gillies, a dribbling shot that went wide. Canadians hold on. They get it net, pull it down the ice.
That's exactly the way the New York Islanders started the game. The same way they applied the pressure and had Montreal on the ropes.
1 minute left in the third period. Here's Duane Sutter losing it there to Turnbull. Trombley ahead to Carbonneau. Hoffman. And they're beginning to stand here at the Forum in Montreal. Canadians about to take a 2-0 game lead in this series. They're all up on their feet. Hoffman ahead to Tonelli. Smith is coming out of the goal. Here's Tonelli. Tonelli settling it. Gainey has it. Cleared it out over the line. 27 seconds left. Canadians with it. Carbonneau over for Trombley. And let's see, there's a penalty coming up. I think it's for elbowing. 21 seconds left. But at this stage, I would think it's rather academic.
Now Bob Nystrom will get the call on the elbowing. But the singing goes on by the fans here at the Forum. It's an exciting city in Montreal. Everybody's talking about the Montreal Canadiens, how they have played the game with great enthusiasm and high intensity. Listen up.
Al Arbor working feverishly on the gun. Here they go.
Au numéro 23, Bob Nystrom, 2 minutes pour avoir donné du coude. À 19 minutes 39
And the
secondes.
odd-man advantage. Tonelli mixing it up with Gainey.
Nystrom, 2 minutes for elbowing at 19 minutes 39 seconds.
19:15, 2 minutes for elbowing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game is over! Now there's a fight there. Oh, this is a bad, bad scene. This is absolutely nonsensical. There is Smith going after, I think,
Sevigny.
Sevigny. Why, in the name of goodness, as we said earlier, can the players not control themselves? You know, Gary, people say, oh, it's a highly contact sport, physical sport. They have to have a safety valve by foot. The international hockey is played without scenes like this. So is the Olympics. So why do we have to have these not very edifying scenes?
Well, I can't understand what Smith is all riled up about. Lewis, the referee in tonight's contest, is trying to separate them. Danny, once those two are separated, I think that's the extent of it. Everybody else is just hanging on to another player. The last thing we need is another outbreak.
You know, for behavior like that, you cannot find justification in saying that they are suffering from frustration.
Two goals, your goals against average will go up.
Well, it's going to be very, very tough on Long Island.
Well, the Canadiens did exactly what they had to do, though, Danny, is win their home game. Both of them here at the Forum. For the New York Islanders, it's going to be a period of readjustment and also self-assurance. I think they're going to have to dig a lot deeper than what we've seen them execute in the two games here at the Forum.
Well, it's amazing. And it continues to be the hockey story, certainly in the North American continent. The Montreal Canadiens rejuvenation, resurgence coming off, and we repeat it again. One of the worst seasons in the history of the club. And now they are up on the New York Islanders, 4-time Stanley Cup champions. They're up on them 2 games to none. And as we pointed out earlier, it means the Islanders now, in order to keep their so-called dynasty going, would have to win 4 of the 5 from the Canadiens. In just a moment, our Molson Cup Three-Star selection.